Alright, it's time for you to head upstairs, take a shower, and get ready to eat some pussy.
I don't want to eat no pussy.
Did I ask you what the fuck you wanted to do? No, the fuck I did not. Now go upstairs, take a shower, and get ready to eat some pussy.
I'm still alive.
Slide in, I slide out. Yeah, hold up. He killed that hoe.
Well, tonight, a woman's family is grieving following a deadly domestic violence situation. Richland deputies responded to an apartment on Mallet Hill Road last night to calls of a woman who we now know as Winter Straw.
We're running late for dinner, but get ready with us. Well, more so like an outfit of the day. Purse, Forever 21, bodysuit, Charlotte Russe, skirt, Sheen. I don't have no shoes on, but some sandals. Come on, baby.
Shirt, ABP.
Billionaire boys.
Billionaire boys. Shorts. My baby. Socks. ABP. Baby. Horsey. Sorry, that's Foot Locker.
This is Winter Nicole Straw, a 25-year-old mental health officer and former college athlete who was shot and killed outside her apartment in Columbia, South Carolina. But before I tell you about the horrifying 3-hour standoff that followed her death, before I reveal how her girlfriend barricaded himself inside their home while police desperately tried to save him, let me take you back to where this seemingly perfect love story began. Because what you're about to discover will shatter everything you saw on TikTok.
In honor of Thanksgiving, I got a question for you. Fucking coleslaw, green bean casserole, stuffing. No, that's a good one. Fucking raisins in the potato salad as side as bitches. What's the fascination with another bitch man? What is it? I'll wait.
When people think of Winter, I wouldn't think of just a sweet, innocent girl who was out here trying to make her mom proud, make her family proud, and just to do what she loved most.
Winter Nicole Straw wasn't just another face in the crowd. Born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, she was the baby of her family, everyone's little sister, everyone's Wenchie. She graduated from Columbia High School in 2015, already demonstrating the determination that would define her life. Winter was a grinder who understood that excellence required relentless effort and a refusal to accept mediocrity. After high school, Winter enrolled at Allen University, a historically Black institution in her hometown, where she built a legacy that would outlast her tragically short life. She became a dual-sport athlete, competing on both the women's volleyball and basketball teams while maintaining her academic responsibilities. Her contributions helped secure the university's first AII conference championship. She was there when Allen University clinched its inaugural women's basketball title in 2016, another historic moment she helped create. She was also an active member of the Gamma Pi chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, an organization built on scholarship, public service, and sisterhood. Professionally, Winter served as a mental health officer at the South Carolina Department of Corrections Broad River Secure Facility, a position that required specialized training and an extraordinary level of emotional intelligence. Her role involved providing crisis intervention, delivering behavioral health programs, and offering critical support to inmates struggling with severe mental health challenges. South Carolina Department of Corrections Director Brian Sterling praised her as the epitome of a dedicated officer, noting her genuine care for her work and those she served. But Winter wasn't all work and serious professional pursuits. She had a passion for social media, particularly TikTok, where she created fun videos that showcased her bubbly, infectious personality. And it was through this digital presence that the world got to see her relationship with Renardo S. Johnson, her boyfriend, the man who would ultimately steal everything from her.
Little dookie booty, go on and get in the camera. Yeah, bitch, this is for Keisha, because you clearly ain't learned your lesson the first time. Tell her what the fuck I said.
I can't fuck with you.
Louder.
I can't fuck with you no more.
Cause what?
You messing up my family.
Now, bitch.
Instead of complaining about anything, learn to be thankful for everything. Hashtag speaking from the heart. B. Fletcher.
Renardo S. Johnson, 27 years old, from Pelion, South Carolina, was Winter's long-term boyfriend, and to everyone watching from the outside, he seemed like the perfect partner. The couple had been together for several years, building what appeared to be an unbreakable bond that manifested in countless TikTok videos filled with laughter, inside jokes, dance challenges, and moments of casual affection that made their followers label them as couple goals.
Who spends the most money? Who is most likely to start an argument? Who falls asleep first? Who is more annoying? Who loves the hardest?
I want some.
But here's where the story takes its first dark turn, where the cracks in the facade start to become visible if you know where to look. When Winters suffered a serious accident, the specific details of which remain private, Johnson stepped into the role of caregiver, providing support during her recovery. And to Winters' family, this seemed like the ultimate proof of his devotion.
Come here. Yeah, come. Bitch. Yeah.
Here was a man who didn't run when things got difficult, who didn't bail when his girlfriend needed him most, who showed up day after day to help her heal. He repeatedly assured Winter's mother that he would never harm her daughter, looking her in the eyes with what seemed like complete sincerity and promising to protect the precious life she'd entrusted to his care. On March 26, 2023, everything that seemed solid and secure shattered in the most horrific way imaginable. Around 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening in Northeast Columbia, Richland County deputies received reports of gunfire at the Carrington Place at Wildwood apartment homes on Mallet Hill Road. When law enforcement arrived at the scene, they discovered Winter outside the apartment, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Medical personnel attempted to save her life, but the injuries were too severe, too extensive. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. And while emergency responders were processing this devastating loss, Johnson had retreated inside the apartment, barricading himself behind locked doors, creating a dangerous standoff situation that would stretch on for hours. What followed was a tense, agonizing 3-hour negotiation. Law enforcement crisis negotiators attempted to communicate with Johnson, trying to convince him to surrender peacefully. For hours, these trained professionals used every technique in their arsenal, trying to talk him down. There were initial concerns that a child might be inside the apartment, adding another layer of urgency to an already nightmarish situation. By 9 o'clock in the evening, communication with Johnson suddenly ceased. The negotiators found themselves talking into a void, receiving no responses, and then officers heard a single gunshot from inside the apartment. That sound told them exactly what had happened before they even breached the door.
By the way, the suspect in that hours-long standoff was found with a gunshot wound to the upper body. Deputies say he died from his self-inflicted gunshot wounds around 11 o'clock or so earlier today.
He was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead around 11 o'clock at night. The earlier fears about a child being inside the apartment proved to be unfounded. Authorities classified the incident as a murder-suicide tied to domestic violence. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott spoke to the media describing the incident as another sad example of how violent and deadly a domestic situation can be, highlighting its ripple effects on families and communities. Winter's family had welcomed Johnson with open arms, seeing no visible indicators of trouble, no red flags, no warning signs. Her mother, LaShawn Williams, recounted in interviews how Johnson had looked her in the eyes repeatedly, promising that he would never do anything to hurt her daughter.
I'm the baby of my family, and so she was my little sister, and so it just hurt me so bad because I wish I was there for her. I wish I was right down the street. I just wish she would have called.
She emphasized that they didn't see any signs, no signals that something was fundamentally wrong. She made the point of saying it wasn't like she was coming around us with black eyes or anything like that, meaning there were no visible physical injuries, no obvious evidence of abuse that would have triggered intervention or concern.
The presence of firearms dramatically exacerbates the risks in domestic violence situations.
Research shows that firearms are involved in over half of all domestic homicide-suicides in the United States, contributing to what experts call lethality factors, elements that transform dangerous situations into deadly ones. A push or a slap is horrifying, but typically survivable. A gunshot wound, especially multiple gunshot wounds, leaves little room for survival or intervention. Mental health issues, including perpetrator suicidality, also play a significant role in these tragedies. Histories of childhood trauma, including exposure to abuse or neglect in the perpetrator's background, can contribute to cycles of violence, though we have no specific information about Johnson's childhood or background that would confirm or deny this pattern in his case. What we do know with certainty is that no specific trigger, such as a particular argument, infidelity, or external stressor, has been publicly revealed by investigators, aligning with protocols that prioritize family privacy and respect in sensitive cases. This lack of disclosure isn't law enforcement being secretive for the sake of it. It's about recognizing that domestic violence investigations involve incredibly personal, painful details that serve no public interest to broadcast, while potentially causing additional harm to grieving families who are already dealing with unimaginable loss. The evening following the tragedy, family and friends gathered for a vigil to honor her memory, and the symbolism of that gathering speaks volumes about who Winter was and what her death represents. Attendees were purple, Winter's favorite color, and also the recognized symbol for domestic violence awareness. This wasn't coincidental. This was a deliberate choice to merge personal remembrance with broader advocacy, to ensure that Winter's death wouldn't be just another statistic, just another sad news story that people scroll past.
Everybody keep us in your prayers.
My God.
Long live Winchie. I love you, extra.
At that vigil, LaShawn Williams made a powerful vow, stating that the family would come together and figure out how we can put an end to this, transforming their profound grief into concrete action.
There was no warning signs, which is the hard part about it.
She was just a beautiful spirit that, didn't deserve nothing.
A rising star. If you met her, you loved her. And if you never met her, you wished you had.
She helped us win our first championship at Allen. On the women's side, first championship they ever won. And she was part of that team, and she was a big part of that team.
It's a shame that these girls and these babies and these kids, these mothers, we have to grieve because somebody decided they wanted to take God into their hands. It's just too much. It's too much. We got to come together and figure out how do we put an end to this.
The South Carolina Department of Corrections, Winter's employer, released statements praising her dedication and service. Her colleagues remembered her as someone who brought genuine care to every interaction, who never treated her work as just a job, but as a calling. On the first anniversary of her death in 2024, friends, family, and colleagues came together again, this time to dedicate a purple bench in Winter's honor. Every person who sits on that bench, who walks past it, who asks about it, becomes part of Winter's extended legacy, part of the ongoing conversation about how we recognize and respond to intimate partner violence before it escalates to tragedy. But here's what makes Winter's story particularly challenging and particularly important. This wasn't a case where outsiders could have easily identified red flags and intervened. The couple's social media presence showed a joyful, loving partnership that earned admiration from followers who saw them as relationship goals. Their TikTok videos were filled with laughter, affection, and the kind of casual intimacy that characterizes healthy relationships.
Do not call me handsome if you ain't gonna hand me some of that, but don't get down.
Stop asking me, do I have friends? It's just me and my dog.
Oh, for now.
Bark, bitch.
There were no visible bruises, no public arguments, no social media posts hinting at trouble beneath the surface. To everyone watching from the outside, they appeared to embody exactly what a strong, loving relationship should look like. And that's precisely what makes this so terrifying, so difficult to process, and so critically important for people to understand. Domestic violence doesn't always announce itself with obvious signs. It doesn't always manifest as visible injuries or public confrontations. Sometimes it exists in the hidden spaces of a relationship, in dynamics that are only visible to the two people involved, in patterns of control or fear or manipulation that never leave physical marks but are devastating nonetheless. Research on intimate partner violence reveals that social media can actually perpetuate false harmony, creating public personas that bear little resemblance to private reality. Couples can curate their online presence to show only the good moments, the happy times, the loving interactions, while the struggles, the arguments, the concerning behaviors never make it into the feed. And for victims of domestic violence, there's often pressure, sometimes explicit, sometimes implicit, to maintain this facade, to keep up appearances, to not let outsiders know that anything is wrong. Experts who study intimate partner homicide-suicide patterns note that these tragedies often involve what they call staged or hidden abuse, where victims actively conceal signs of mistreatment, making intervention extraordinarily difficult until it's too late. This concealment isn't because victims don't want help. It's often because they're afraid of the consequences of seeking help, or they believe they can manage the situation, or they're holding on to hope that things will get better, or they're dealing with complex trauma responses that make it difficult to accurately assess their own danger. The FBI's analysis of domestic murder-suicides describes them as compound tragedies that often involve emotional neglect or unresolved conflicts hidden from view. These incidents don't typically happen out of nowhere, even when they appear to from an outside perspective. There's usually a history, a pattern, a progression that the victim was aware of, even if no one else was. The challenge is that by the time the danger becomes visible to others, it's often reached a critical point where intervention is extremely difficult, or simply too late. This is very tough for anyone, especially women, to process. For those who have had close relatives or family members who are in violent relationships, what signs did you see that they were not actively showing? How did you help them? I want to hear about your experience in the comments section below.
I hate everyone, but man, oh man, you're my best friend. I'll scream it to the nothingness. There ain't nothing that I need. World hard and heavy, pumpkin pie, chocolate candy, Jesus Christ. Ain't nothing.
Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get timely updates on new content.